Hi guys, it's Lara. Thank you so much for watching and welcome to today's video. So today I will show you a few lunch to go ideas. Ever since I went vegan, I have learned to plan my meals ahead because very often when I have to run some errands or when I travel, I don't get enough variety in my diet. If I'm looking for vegan alternatives, very often the only vegan alternative is either fries or a salad, and that's just not nutritious enough long term. It's something I can eat 1 or 2 days, but it gets very soon old. So I thought I will give you just a few ideas today. I will definitely film more of those videos in future, so if you want to know what my today's lunch to go ideas are, then please keep watching. I thought we should start with a really easy alternative that requires also minimal preparation time, so let's have a look at it. I'm making sandwiches for lunch, so what I have here is there's always going to be a side with baba ganoush on it, and then here I have a side with tomatoes, avocado and shortly roasted king oyster mushroom. And the other kind of sandwich is going to be also shortly roasted king oyster mushrooms. Again, avocado, but instead of tomatoes, I used here green bell pepper. You guys, this is how I'm bringing the sandwiches in the office. So I kind of squashed them into this glass jar, but at the end they fit in, so why not? I don't know about you guys, but as soon as the summer comes and as soon as it gets hot, I mostly enjoy just raw food or cold dishes, so that's why I've also included a salad. For my couscous salad, I always soak couscous first. I buy different brands. This is the one I have right now, and I always follow the directions on the box. I like seasoning my couscous with a bit of cayenne pepper, cumin, garlic and just a little bit of salt. I do not know about the exact amounts. I would say like half a teaspoon of each because I mostly just eyeball it. As a next step, I chop up as many tomatoes as I want to have in it. I chopped now 4 medium-sized tomatoes and threw them in the bowl. And now I will chop this cilantro. I like using a lot of cilantro. Next, I chopped up 1 large scallion and I'm going to throw it in as well. And that would be the basic salad. I will need a larger bowl because this is super full. You can add anything you want. You could add avocado, you could add mushrooms, chickpeas, even soy sprouts, whatever you like, because I think when it comes to salads, it's always up to you what you prefer. But if you would mix just this, the tomatoes with the couscous and the herbs, that would be fine. As for the dressing, I'm going to squeeze the juice of 1 lime. You can also add about 2 tablespoons of tamari sauce or coconut aminos or any organic soy sauce, and about 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. I think I will skip this time the apple cider vinegar, but I will add about 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, and then you are welcome to add any herbs you like. You can add a little bit more cumin, a little bit more cayenne pepper, garlic, pepper, whatever you like. So here's my lime juice with the organic soy sauce, and I'm just gonna pour it over the salad, stir it up, and that's it. Whenever I'm making couscous or quinoa salads, I always bring them in a glass jar to the office, and mostly I do not use any special jars. I just use a mason jar that I had at home. So this was a mason jar I bought with cherries in it. I've been making a strudel and then I washed the jar out, and now I'm using it for my lunch. So especially if you are on a budget, you do not have to spend any extra money and you have a great jar. This is a great portion and it also fits easily in any of my purses. Whenever you want to make the salad a little bit more protein rich, you can always replace the couscous with quinoa, or you can simply mix a certain amount of the couscous with a certain amount of quinoa, however you feel like it's good for you. The next alternative is also a very convenient meal to take with you wherever you go. And I find that it is also a great alternative who is just transitioning to veganism or who just recently went vegan and is looking for great alternatives to their favorite food. So let's have a look at that. This time I'm making tortilla wraps. So I have here spinach, avocado, portobello mushrooms, of course, because we love them. There is cilantro and tomatoes, that's all raw. And this is going to be the cooked component. So I have here soy strips, they are already seasoned. They taste similar like gyros, but of course they are vegan. So I'm just gonna throw them in a non-sticky pan. I'm gonna roast them shortly and then I'm gonna add them into the tortilla wraps. Okay, now I added the roasted gyro strips, and I added also on 4 of them coconut yogurt because I like it a lot, and Jack also loves that, and we are going to eat those 4 now. And those 2 are for our son to go, and this is where I didn't add the yogurt. I'm gonna give him 1 yogurt to go and he can add it when he starts eating them, because that way the wraps won't get too wet. Whenever we take the tortilla wraps with us to go, we put them in some kind of a dish, just like this one, for example. This one is from IKEA, but this is also a very large one. So whenever we take them somewhere where carrying an extra dish would be not really practical, we wrap them in something else. So one option would be just simply wrap them in a tin foil. But I don't like doing that as often. I'm trying to avoid waste as often as possible. So instead of that, you could always take your tortilla wraps and wrap them in some kind of a cloth. This is like a kitchen towel. You could wrap them in it, and then you could put an extra plastic bag so that you could make sure that if some veggies would come out, that it wouldn't end in your bag. And of course, you don't have to throw the plastic bag away afterwards. You can use it again later. And last but not least, I also wanted to include at least 1 warm dish, because some of you might live in rather colder areas, and even though we have summer here, it can get colder for a few days. So I thought that would be nice. So let's have a look at the last meal. Today I am cooking a potato goulash with mushrooms. I have already told you that Jack and I are obsessed with mushrooms, and so we use any opportunity we get in order to put mushrooms in it, which is pretty much every second dish I cook. So here I have a few peeled, washed and chopped potatoes, a lot of mushrooms. These are portobellos, our favorite mushrooms. Then I have here 1½ green bell pepper chopped in a little bit bigger pieces, 1 tomato, 1 chili pepper, 1 crushed garlic, and in total 1 onion. I had some leftover onions, red and white ones, so that's why I have here 2 kinds of onions, but there is no particular reason for that. It's just I'm using up leftovers. I have here also 2 chopped scallions for later. I like adding fresh scallions on the top of my food. So, and these are my spices. So first of all, I have here olive oil, salt, paprika powder, then cayenne pepper, cumin, and pepper. So first I will throw in my pot with a bit of olive oil the chili pepper. So I roast the onion shortly, and then I will add the garlic, the tomato, and the green bell pepper. It already smells amazing. And now I will add the potatoes. Alright, and now the spices. So a bit of cumin, I kind of eyeball it. I don't really measure mostly since I'm cooking this very often, but I would say like 1/4 teaspoon. Then about 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, a bit of the regular pepper. I'd say about 2 or 3 tablespoons of paprika powder. I like using a lot of this one. And then I will pour water over this mix. So then I stir it properly. I will reduce the heat just a little bit, and I will cover the pot and let it cook for, let's say, about 10-15 minutes. Now you can leave the chili pepper inside for as long as you want to. You just have to keep in mind that the longer the chili pepper will stay in, the spicier the goulash will get. So I think I'm gonna leave it in for about 5 more minutes and then I'm gonna remove it, because even though I like my food a bit spicy, I don't like it too spicy. Now, after almost 15 minutes, I have added the mushrooms and I will let it cook for 10 more minutes. Now in this glass I have about 1.5 tablespoons of potato starch, a bit of water, and about 2 tablespoons of this veggie soup powder. That's an organic veggie soup powder I like using instead of salt, because there's also some herbs in it and it adds always a nice flavor to the things I cook. So I am going to reduce the heat even more so that the food doesn't boil, because right now it's pretty bubbly. And once the bubbles stop, I will stir in the potato starch with the veggie soup, and that's gonna be it. Now, due to the potato starch, the goulash got much thicker. So you can make it as thick as you want to. You can use less water in general if you like it really thick. I just like the consistency where is it a bit thicker than a regular soup. So it's all about your personal preference. And this is how the goulash looks like when it's served. I added a few scallions on the top, but you can skip that step if you don't like scallions, but I think it also adds a nice aroma, but that's of course totally up to you. So these were my lunch to go ideas for today. As I have already said at the beginning of today's video, I will definitely film more of these videos in future, so make sure you subscribe to my channel so that you won't miss any further videos. If you liked today's video, don't forget to give it a thumb up, and you can also share it with your friends or with anyone who you think might be interested in those ideas. You can also follow me on Instagram. Links are down below in the description box, together with several playlists that might be interesting for you. And thank you so much for watching. I wish you a wonderful day and see you guys next time. Bye!